Despite next year being potentially the most important elections of our lives, the Michigan Republican Party is rocked by financial turmoil and severe infighting. What is up, people of the internet? It is me, Real American, back in with a new video. Today, it is time that we talk about the chaos that is unfolding within the Michigan Republican Party. Because, guess what? There is some severe problems unfolding within the party. I mean, we've known about this for basically a year now, that the Michigan GOP, they're not necessarily the most competent in the world. But this article is just bad. There is nothing positive from this headline. Incompetent dumpster fire. The Michigan Republican Party is rocked by financial turmoil and infighting. You cannot make this up. Despite there being possibly the most important elections of our lives next year, just 11 months away, if that, they have still yet to figure out what the hell's going on and how to solve this. But before we talk about this chaos, I hope you enjoy these type of videos. If you do, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the social media accounts in the description down below, and of course, join the channel today. Guys, just for $1 a month, you could join Real American. This is the best way to support the daily content that we all know and love. So I hope and recommend you join the channel today. And I gotta give one big Merry Christmas to everybody. That is right, we have videos today, and I know I should have mentioned this to start a video, but Merry Christmas. Hope everyone's having a great time with their families, Stay safe, have fun, and just enjoy it. Christmas is the day that Christ was born. And before I forget, Christ is King. So, with that out of the way, let's get into today's video, this Christmas special, I guess you could call it. We talk about dumpster fires. Yeah, that's the Christmas spirit, isn't it? But for real, this is just sad. I mean, we are less than a year from the elections happening. They still have yet to figure out how we can solve this mess that's happening in the state. Because remember, we knew about this stuff a year ago. And apparently it's gotten worse. And it's just unbelievable. But let's get into it. The Mackinac Republican Leadership Conference often lures a who's who of GOP powers in Michigan. Wealthy donors shake hands with presidential candidates who give rousing speeches to packed audiences in hopes of winning the conference's straw poll. The event is typically a moneymaker for its sponsor, the Michigan Republican Party, helping to fund get-out-the-vote efforts to support campaigns to get Republicans elected throughout the state. But this year's conference was decidedly different. The only presidential candidate to show up was Vivek Ramaswamy, who was mostly polling the single digits. The lineup of speakers included failed Arizona governor candidate Kari Lake, Zuby, a British rapper who occasionally appears on Fox News, and conservative professor Dinesh D'Souza, who ultimately did not show up. Yeah. This is one of the biggest events in Michigan every year for the Republican Party. And that's who they got. Usually there's big names that show up, not every single time, I'm not saying everyone was expected to show, but usually people do show up. This is usually some big names or big donors, wealthy people, people are going to run. Well, they didn't show up. The event, simply put, was a disaster, said Warren Carpenter, an active Republican Party member and former district chair. It was emblematic of deeper problems within the Michigan State Party. A CNN review of documents and interviews with more than 20 current and former party officials shows the Republican Party in the key battleground state has become entangled in financial turmoil, infighting, and calls for new leadership less than a year before the 2024 presidential election. Yeah. You can't make this up. I mean, I don't care who you are. I don't care if it's MAGA, the establishment. It doesn't matter. This is incompetence on both sides. From everything I'm hearing, it's a slap fight between some MAGA boomers and some boomer cons. That's what's happening here. You can't make this up. They blame each other for the problems instead of looking themselves in the mirror and realizing it's all of our faults. We got crushed last year. And it didn't matter if you were MAGA or not. the entire ticket crashed and burned. Everybody. It's just a mess what's happening in the state. And people are just saying, oh, well, it's MAGA, MAGA, MAGA. At some point, this isn't just MAGA that's causing this. Because it's like, wait a minute. Most of the party establishment should be doing something, right? They're not. This is a failure of everybody, including the chairwoman, I should say, Christina Caramo, I think I said that correctly, who became the head of the state party in February after pushing far-right election conspiracy theories and blah, 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 all that crap. And the thing that killed them was promising to end the party's reliance on traditional wealthy donors. Now, let's be clear. I am not a fan of bending over backwards for everything you want for wealthy donors. Plus, it's more viable to try to get a grassroots base. With that being said, you do not openly say this. You could say we want to expand the grassroots. We want to have more funding. We want to do all that stuff. What she was doing was saying screw you to the wealthy donors and to the establishment. We don't need your help. Same thing Kerry Lake did in Arizona. And the establishment, they're not playing nice. It's a slap fight from both sides. This isn't a MAGA problem. This isn't an establishment problem. It's both. Both are incompetent in this situation. I'm not saying that everyone's the problem. I'm not saying everyone MAGA is the problem. I'm not saying everyone that's part of the establishment's the problem. It's both. Now, some of the pro-Trump party members who voted Caramo into office have soured on her leadership and accused her administration of working to destroy the party by failing to fundraise and sparking division among the party rank and file. Dozens of party state committee members signed a petition calling for a meeting at the end of the month to consider the removal of Caramo and some of her deputies. Which, based on everything I've heard, this isn't, they're going to say it's MAGA. She's one person that I think's, from everything I'm seeing, she's not necessarily, I'm not going to say insane, but I don't know how to put it. There's some things she said in the past, and she's saying to this day that, are you sure? But even like the pro-Trump people, they're saying, what the hell's going on here? And then you get the establishment saying the same thing, but then they fight each other. It's a joke. This should have been resolved 6 months ago when this became a problem. We talked about it then. Why the hell haven't both factions come together and realize we gotta get somebody new? This is stupid. We're wasting our times on this. The dire state of the party's finances, which has generated negative headlines in local outlets, including the Detroit News, for months, was recently summarized in a report that concluded Caramo has pushed the organization to the brink of bankruptcy. The report, commissioned by Carpenter, a former party district chair, and shared with CNN, included internal records that suggest the party had a net income of just $71,000 between March and November. It had more than $600,000 in debt as of last month. For those that don't know, that net income, that should be what your county parties get. Your local GOPs. That should not be your statewide party, especially in Michigan. This is the problem with both factions here. I'm not blaming just one side. It's both sides. Again, I consider myself MAGA. I'm saying that you have incompetent people in the MAGA movement that ran the party into the ground. With the other side, they're just being clowns about it. They're running to CNN and complaining about it instead of, doing your job. I mean, you leaked this to CNN? Instead of talking with the other side, what are you doing? You have pro-Trump people saying, we may have to get rid of her. But it's often a mess. This is a big, fat failure. And remember, statewide parties, absolutely critical in winning elections, especially with a Senate race next year that Republicans could win if it's James Craig, especially if it's Hill Harper, and a presidential election that polling has shown Republicans have a shot of doing something that was seen insane just 2 years ago. Win the state by a landslide. You don't need a state party doing this. So I want to know, where's the accountability? Why is she still here? From everyone I've talked to, she's a disaster. Nothing personal, but this is a mess. And some of the things she said, it's like, this is your party chair? Listen, there's so many ways you can do this, but not by infighting and going to CNN about this. That's my big problem with what the establishment's doing. They're not helping here. They're just, run to CNN and bitch to them, instead of working together as a party. I'm not saying every establishment guy is a good person, but there's some that we may disagree on some issues, but at least they want to win. Some of these clowns don't, but I don't know. Now, for those that don't know who Caramel is, she is somebody that ran for Secretary of State in 2022, and it didn't end too well. She got absolutely walloped. And she somehow became the party chair, but just look at this. Look at this. Last month, a lawyer for Commercial Bank sent a notice of default to the party for failure to pay interest on a principal of $510,000 or $509,000 records show. Like I'm saying, just get rid of her. This isn't some conspiracy. She's just incompetent. That's what's happening here. And the fact that she's still here is just show you what the problem is with the GOP. Instead of fixing themselves and realizing this is a mess, they run to the news outlets or they say F you to the other side and don't do anything and screw the other side over. I hate it, and we gotta solve it because next year is a critical election. Anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the social media accounts in the description down below, and of course, join the channel today. Thank you so much. Godspeed to all of you.